Ladies and gamers, welcome to BelleNOiRtv. My name is BelleNoir and you are watching Cast My Game episode 16. If you don't know what this show is about, well, I'm a caster. You send me a replay, I'll cast it live on the show. Today we have some crazy ass games for you guys. You would not believe the hilariousness that I witnessed when I skimmed through the replays at times 8 speed. In recent news, I've just this last weekend, as some of you may know, I've been to The Hague, to the Netherlands. I casted the finals of the Dutch StarCraft League with Hearthstone and Liquid Red in the finals. It was a blast. It was absolutely awesome. I had the pleasure of casting Hearthstone's comeback when he first got knocked into the loser bracket by Liquid Red, very convincingly 2-0. And then he managed to win the whole loser bracket, make it back into the finals, faced off against Liquid Red again. Started off the series by being down 0-1 because of the double elimination format that DSCL was using. So he starts off the series being down 0-1, loses the first game. He's now down 0-2, and it was a best of 7. So if he would have lost the next game, it would be highly probable that he would lose the series going out 0-4. However, Hearthstone, with just an amazing skill and an amazing tactical decision, outsmarted Red the next game and managed to win all the subsequent games. So he takes the series 4-2. He was so happy. Some of you probably saw the video, the Hearthstone reaction to winning DSCL that was posted on Reddit the day he won, actually. It was amazing to watch. I mean, he was so happy. He was fist pumping like a boss, shouting. His parents were in the front row. They started crying. They were so happy for him. His brother, Lowland Lance Dabu, immediately ran to the stage, jumped up, and gave Hearthstone a huge bear hug. So those brothers really, because they are brothers, for those who did not know. So they're really close. Of course, Kyle Aris stopped by as well. We shook hands. We talked a little bit, but I had quite a busy schedule there, so we couldn't get any beers or a coffee or anything. And you know, like, it's Kyle Aris. Like, you can't just steal the guy and have him for yourself. There were a lot of people around that wanted to talk to him, sign posters, a photograph with him, etc., etc., etc. But I was a little bit surprised that he actually knew who I was. WTF. So yeah, it was a very good event. The production crew just did an amazing, outstanding job. I worked in television and radio before, and I have to say that the level of production that they had there was very close to what I was used seeing and experiencing and working with when I still did, occasional jobs for television. The only downside was that we did not have feedback in our headsets, so we only heard, we were only able to hear the in-game sounds. We couldn't hear each other, so that's why, it was a little bit hard to judge the level of volume that you have to be putting out. Of course, on the stream it's a little bit different because your voice gets routed through the sound mix. So on the director's board they fixed it immediately, but sound that was coming towards the audience was actually really low for casters. So we had to speak a little bit louder. And because I was a little bit nervous, my throat was a little bit tight. What ended up happening was, after only 4 or 5 hours of sleep before the event began, 10 a.m. we start casting, and during the first 30 minutes, I just absolutely ruined my voice. It just kind of like cracked, and it stayed that way for the rest of the day. So my voice color was really horrible. By the end of it, my voice was almost gone. Like, but you know, it's all experiences that you gain. I'm already looking forward to the next DSCL, which I have been given an invite to. Meanwhile, I'll try to do as much casting as I can for you guys and for other people as well. Might give a go for it and try casting some ESL events, like go for SC2 or something like that. But that's all in the future. That's all in the future. Today we have 3 games for you. I would like to first welcome everybody in the chat: Bleza, Crossguard, Destre SC2, Gwynblade, Maverick, Mac SC, Penguin SC. Hello there, Penguin. Casted quite a lot of your replays before, so I'm glad to see you here. Spectra 111, Undead 93, Wolf or WoCZ Luf, and of course Zasz. So let's jump into the first game. The first game will be quite a long one, and I apologize, but in every replay today, there will be 3 of them, we do have Protoss matchups. I'm sorry. This is just how it turned out. So let's just jump into the first game straight away. It is going to be played on Neo Planet S, and it's gonna be a PvZ. So you just switch the scenes and make sure that they actually switched. Yes, they have. Okay, great. So here we go. Neo Planet S. Oh, forgot one more thing. I really wants to have these on. Okay, Neo Planet S. We have the red Zerg spawning in the top right. It is going to be SpeedyBozar. For those of you who played Fallout 2, there is actually a weapon. It's called the Bozar gun. It's one of the most powerful automatic submachine, not submachine guns, but machine guns in the game, and it's absolutely kick-ass. The problem is, in Fallout 2, the only way you can get your hands on a Bozar is by killing a member of the Rangers, which is an order of guys that are opposed to slavery and kill slavers whenever and wherever they can. And you know, they're packing some serious heat. So aside from you getting very bad rap and karma by killing such a guy, well, you might die in the process. Opposing him will be Undead. That's the blue Protoss here in the bottom, and we see that he is going for an in-base pylon. Let's see if he drops a forge or a gateway. There's a gateway going down, so a gateway expand. Meanwhile, the probe is just scouting out the Zerg base. Nothing out of the ordinary that the probe sees. Should be looking for a pool going down right now, which is around 2 minutes. There we go. Pretty standardly timed pool at 15. And the probe is just going to check if there is going to be an expand going down. Meanwhile, in the Protoss base, we do see the gas. So everything is looking pretty standard. Should be followed by a pylon very soon. And the probe actually leaves before confirming that the hatch is going down. At around 2 minutes 45 seconds, you usually see a hatch going down, and there is the drone looking for any stray probes, for any possible cannon rushes or something. Delays the hatchery by just a little bit, so it's not really a big deal. I wouldn't be surprised if this probe made its way back and re-scout the natural. Meanwhile, the pool is finishing, so we'll have a couple of lings being produced, of course, after getting the first queen. So we can already see that SpeedyBozar is thinking very economically here. What's interesting to note is that Undead, he's not getting a Zealot. Instead, he's getting a second gas. So a quicker tech coming out of the Protoss. Let's see what he ends up spending his gas on. So there's the Stalker, even chrono boosted. Looks like he really wants to get rid of that scouting. He wants to kill that Overlord. I don't think he will be in time. I think the Overlord might actually get away. No way one Stalker can kill this baby. Warp Gate tech going down as well, and getting the Mothership Core. Probe rescouting the natural, very good skill to have, scouting at opportune times. And instead of taking a third base, we see the Zerg getting a gas immediately. Keeps up the queen production, that is going to be very useful to keep him alive. And this Overlord will just barely get away, one shot from dying. That's a good Overlord right there, did its job, did the scouting. And Undead goes, seriously? One hit away and it doesn't die? WTF, mate. Alright, so 2 queens. Pretty good injects so far. Still no expansion for the from the Protoss. Ooh, wait a minute. We had a very quick layer going down. No speed being researched so far for the Zergs. So, you know, this is a little bit weird. You know, if you want to go 2-base Mutalisks, you generally pretty much invest into at least 1 or 2 spine crawlers. As it is right now, we don't see the spine crawlers. We don't see the link speed going down, which would be the case if you were going for 2-base Muta. It's a really old Wings of Liberty build back from the 2010. So I don't really think this is the case, though. I mean, the gas is not being spent on anything. Let's see what tech ends up going down. Meanwhile, the Protoss is getting an expansion, is adding more gates. Not really teching all that much. And the Mothership Core will get away from now. Funny thing to note is that we have 4 queens on 2 bases, so... Oh. An infestation pit. Seems like the Zerg is trying to go for 2-base swarm house. Seems to me. Now, the crucial thing is, will Undead make a correct read here? I mean, he's checking for the for the 3rd base. Still doesn't see anything, and he's getting a Twilight Council instead of a Robo. Not really a good move, in my opinion. But well, unless he uses the hallucination for the sentry to scout, he really should do so, because there is no way he's getting inside that base. He has no idea about the gas being taken at the natural. So yeah, there's the scout. Not really scouting all that much. I mean, this is... He only saw the 1 gas, and you know, but the thing is, seeing no units being produced, just queens, generally means, well, you gotta be putting the gas into something. I mean, you're on 2 bases, you haven't taken a 3rd, you gotta have a lot of gas. If you have not taken your gases yet, you are doing this wrong. So Undead has to know something's up. He's getting a Dark Shrine. I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, Lair is finished, Overseer is being morphed right now, and we see that this is indeed 2-base Swarm Host. Already getting the Enduring Locusts upgrade, and no hallucinations being sent out so far for Undead. He still has not seen anything. He does have this proxy pylon here, just now building. Dark Shrine is still about 60 seconds away from being completed, though, so... Oh, alright. So this is a pretty common strategy we came to see on various maps. This map, it's generally really hard to take a 3rd on this map, so I don't fault the Zerg for going 2-base Swarm Hosts. It can actually work pretty well to his advantage. He's even sending lings out to check for the 3rd base. That's very nice of him. I wonder, will Undead actually notice that something is amiss? Swarm Hosts already in production. Now note, neither of these players has an evolution chamber. Oh, he sees the Nidus. He sees the Nidus. Will he be able to kill it in time? Because he's got no detection. If those Swarm Hosts get out and start spewing those locusts, he could be in some trouble. So this is a battle of invisible units versus invisible units. It's going to be DTs versus Swarm Hosts. Now, who's going to have the greater presence of mind to utilize his units better? Oh, a second Nidus network spotted. That's not good news for Bozar. And these ETs coming into the main base. He's actually trying to kill the Nidus. If he can kill both the Niduses at the same time, he has to get those Swarm Hosts out. Come on, get them out. Otherwise, they would be dead. transfusing the Nidus network. Beautiful play here by Undead. Meanwhile, the DT in the main is hacking away at the drones, already at 6 kills. Let's see how many kills he can attain overall. So far 8. And trying to get the infestation pit down. That's a very good move. But what really should be happening here is getting a robo facility. I mean, Undead has seen the swarm hosts popping out of this Nidus. He has seen those. So if he doesn't get a robo like right now, he can be in some serious trouble. He does have blink though. And I mean, still no evolution chambers, still no forges. So this is going to be a game pretty much without upgrades, I feel like. The creep spread is just now starting to ramp up. This would be, of course, an opportune time for the Zerg to take a third base. He's on 44 larva. He doesn't really need to produce any units because swarm hosts spawn locusts for free. And of course, getting those evo chambers would allow him to get ranged attacks +1, carapace +1, which, you know, locusts with upgrades, they have almost the same DPS as hydras, and you don't have to pay for locusts. So getting those evo chambers might have been a good move. The Protoss not macroing as well to the best of his ability, but is doing a good job of catching every single unit out on the map. He cut workers entirely. We can see that he's only on 47, which is enough for a 2-base saturation, and we still don't see any robotic facilities going down, so that's a little bit of a misstep there. He might end up trying to take a third base. Might. And swarm hosts still loaded into the Nidus worm. But there are no Nidus networks anywhere. Okay, so this is a good move, taking a third base. But you gotta have a robo. I mean, it's already way overdue. Zerg taking a third base himself. So this game is pretty much even so far. Since the Protoss doesn't have any Colossi out, he can't really go and kill the Zerg. Just because of the fact that he doesn't have detection. Oh, I spoke too soon. Okay, there are 2 robo facilities going down. So this is a little bit of, you know, it's a little bit too late for those robos. He already could have had 2 Colossi already out by this point if he would have dropped them the second he saw the swarm hosts. And look at this, he tries to blink in but has to immediately pull back because, well, he doesn't see the swarm hosts and the locusts just spawned. Beautiful use of the Nidus networks here from Bozar. Those DTs are doing a pretty good job though. Do we have an overseer somewhere or overseer morphing? We do have 3 overseers. Okay, one is with the army, another one is in the main. And another one is in the natural. The third base will get denied. There's no way that Bozar can get back in time now. He needs to cancel this. Ooh, no cancel there. No cancel there on the third base, and it does go down now. If he moves the swarm hosts a little bit closer. Okay, he's moving them back. He needs to defend. Like I said, nice use of the Nidus network. Every time the Protoss forces close in on him, he just goes back into the Nidus, pops at his natural, spawns locusts, and is going to be totally fine. Another Nidus network going down here, but this will be caught by the retreating stalkers. And if any units come out, they have to be careful. There is no way they can retreat. Gets sniped immediately. Even the Overseer goes down. Now, do we have a Robo-Bay on the way? Yes, we do. Do we have observers out on the field? Yes, we do. So, pretty much right now, Undead, he's got Blink. He's got Guardian Shields. He could try and go for it. He could try to do something here. There are no spine crawlers. There's a lot of queens, but no spine crawlers. Just a bunch of swarm hosts, and with good blink micro, he might end up sniping quite a few of those. And swarm hosts, they take a longer time to reproduce or make than stalkers do. So we see Undead trying to go for a second attack, being a little bit cautious. He doesn't want to overextend. He doesn't want to go in there blindly. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of swarm hosts, and look at the number of queens. How many swarm hosts do we actually have in this game so far? Alright, so 13 queens, 28 swarm hosts. They're starting to lay siege. Let's see where the rally goes, directly between the third and the natural. Now granted, the Zerg does know that the third is up, so he pretty much will want to take that out. Now with the mobility of these stalkers, what Undead could do here, actually, he could try to circle around the map through here, and he could try to snipe this Nidus. Or, you know, just with a couple of Stalkers. He could take the northern route and then just blink and snipe the Nidus really quickly while using the rest of his army to engage the Locusts directly. And seems like he has sort of the idea of what to do here. Let's see where the rallies from the Rebels go. I think they're rallied actually to the main army, which is never good. He's getting double Colossi at the same time, though, so as long as he can get to a decent Colossus count. And look at this! Again, pulling back to the Nidus network. And the Protoss has to blink back. I think he could try to take this with 2 or 4 more Colossi. He has to be really patient. Cannot really afford to lose this third base at this stage of the game. I mean, the Zerg has been on 2 bases for such a long time. Look at the income. The Protoss has a way better income thanks to that third base compared to the Zerg. The Zerg is getting mined out at his main base. Only 50 minerals remaining on those patches. So if he can hold on to this third base, mass up the Colossus, and not lose his observers, he's going to be in a very, very good spot. He could afford to drop very many gateways down at this point in time. He's being limited by gas, though, so he pretty much wants to preserve the lives of these Stalkers as much as he can. Doesn't really want to lose any Colossi. But I think he's in a really good position. Mothership Core keeping tabs on the Locusts. And the Zerg is not really teching further. He's not getting a hive, he's not getting upgrades. But at the same time, the Protoss is not getting forges. He's not getting additional gateways. He's still only on 7 gates. I would have liked to see him go up to 9 or 12 even on 3 bases. And he got probe production as well, only staying on 53 probes. Nice force fields. Now the Blink Micro has to come to work here as well. And there are so many Locusts being spawned here by the Swarm Hosts. A lot of Queens to snipe the Observers and transfuse the Swarm Hosts if need be. Again, Undead trying to circle around the map using the northern route, but this way he will be seen on the creep. He should really take the northernmost route and try to go there. These 2 Colossi, they will probably end up surviving, and you know, this is a very dangerous time for the Protoss, because if Bozar moves these Swarm Hosts to here, he could start attacking the natural and the third base at the same time. Look at this beautiful maneuver by Undead. He tries to go at the army from the top while using a couple of Stalkers to distract the Zerg. This will be a key engagement in this game. Both players are maxed. Force fields are going down. Not the best Blink Micro here, just utilizing basic pullback Micro, but the Locusts, they're getting burned down very, very, very quickly. And can he actually take this head on? How many Colossi do we have here? 7 Colossi. That could be enough even without upgrades. Remember, the Locusts have no upgrades themselves. The Queens are getting in on the fight as well, but are getting roasted. Queens were the most important composition for this army for transfuses and observer snipes. Now there's nothing that shoots up, but look at the Stalker count. It's dwindling so far. So quickly. Undead not really blinking to the best of his ability, and we still have 40 Swarm Hosts out on the field. These are dire times for the Protoss player. If he would be... he needs to warp in. His supply is at 150. He keeps producing them Colossi, but he also needs to think about replenishing his Gateway army. Again, trying to go for the backstab. Again, retreating through the Nidus network. He might have actually took the Nidus network down. There were not that many units. Even if you sacrifice a couple of Stalkers, it is almost entirely worth it most of the time. Spire going down among the Swarm Hosts as well. The third base is still up, but oh, this is it. This is the dangerous position for Undead. This is the dangerous position. He was afraid that the Swarm Hosts would get in. If he attacks now, maybe they will be forced to move back. But the Locusts are already on their way. They can kill a couple of probes. They might even try to bring the health of the Nexus down a little bit. And look at this. Undead is being pushed back. There are still quite a lot of Swarm Hosts at the natural base of the Zerg. And Undead, he's pressed into a defense of his third base right now. Beautiful display of mobility with the Swarm Hosts here by the Zerg player. Utilizing Nidus Network and Nidus Worms to constantly move back and forth very, very quickly across the map. The hell! This is even better than Warpins! Right, the Nidus will go down finally. That will give Undead a little bit of a breather. I don't think there's another Nidus network anywhere else out on the map. No, there's this just one. So his third base will stay up for now. Not very many workers have been killed so far. It's blow for blow, very even trades. But the income for both of these players is really, really low. They're actually mined out. The only mining that the Protoss could have had at this point in the game is from the third base, but he's not doing that. He has very many idle probes. Now the Zerg is mined out as well. Only 200 minerals remaining at his natural. Production tabs empty. This is all the army both of these players are going to get. That's all the army. So every Colossus, every Stalker, and most importantly for the Zerg, every single Swarm host matter at this point. Do we have Observer out on the field? Yes, we do. He could actually beat this army if he manages to get the Colossi in the correct positions. A couple of them are glitching. The Locusts are melting away under the Colossus fire. 30 Stalkers and 11 Colossi still remaining out on the field. 40 Swarm hosts. A new wave of Locusts has just spawned, and Undead very wisely retreating. You have to be careful there. You don't want to lose those Colossi needlessly. Good. They will get away, and the Locusts should die here. I think at this point, Undead should actually take a direct engagement versus the Zerg. As far as mining and economy goes, I mean, we do have still 23 drones out for the Zerg, but he doesn't have enough money to build another base, unlike the Protoss. He could build 4 Nexi at this point, and what is the Zerg going to do about it? Nothing. He can also afford to lose a couple of these units, and he can still replenish. Look at the bank. 3,000 minerals, 1.2 gas. The Zerg has got nothing. He's got this army. He's got this giant ball of Swarm hosts, but that's about it. He did mix in some Corruptors though, so that could be the key to his victory here, as both armies clash right now. But the Observer... Oh, the Observer. Do we have an Overseer anywhere? We do. Where are they? Oh, they're here! They're here! Oh my goodness, one of those Overseers definitely should have been with the main army. It's not like the Zerg needs to protect 3 bases, unlike the Protoss, and he only has 1 Observer. Sniping that Observer in a key moment in the fight, or those Observers, as they are 2 flying about, could give a momentary boost to Bozar. He would be able to spawn another wave of Locusts with impunity. Oh my goodness. So many Locusts without upgrades, but there's still very many of them. The Corruptors are going in. Will try to work away at the Colossi. Blinks forward, tries to snipe as many of the Swarm hosts as he can. He goes to work on them. The Colossi are still in the back, unprotected by the Stalkers though. That's a very bad move by Undead. He mismanaged this battle quite greatly. Look at this. He had something close to 13 Colossi, and right now only 5. 3 are remaining almost. Will this one go down as well? The Stalkers are not protecting the Colossi, and it does go down. Only 3 Colossi remaining versus 22 Swarm hosts. That is not nearly enough. Just the waves of Locusts will be enough to push this army back. Why isn't Undead replenishing his army? Why isn't he replenishing his army? He does have the money for it. He does have the supply. What is he waiting for? Okay, right now, there it is. 2 more Colossi, 7 Stalkers being warped in. Is it going to be enough? Oh my god. Just so many Locusts everywhere, trying to keep the army at bay, and at the same time, snipe the 3rd expansion now. Undead doesn't know if there's a base here. He has no idea about this. He has to keep these units back to hold on to his production facilities, mainly because those production facilities is the thing that is keeping him in this game. He's trying to go for a counterattack yet again, but at what price? There's a wave of Locusts advancing on his 3rd base position. And there is still Nidus Worm in play here. Has this one been sniped, actually? I think it was. So, does the Zerg have an option to retreat? No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't! He's going for it! He's going for a base race! He can do this! Another Overseer being sniped down! If he can kill the Zerg base, then basically... Does he have any drones with him at this point? Where are your drones, Zerg player? Oh my god, he's got only 2 drones. One is here. That one will get killed, undoubtedly, or will have to build a building. Meanwhile, the natural of the Protoss was all but killed. The third will fall as well, too. The Queen Fire. There's no Mothership Core, so he can't... Oh, there is actually. But not with the army, so he can't recall back to his main base to kill off the Zerg army very, very quickly. What is he going to do? He does have 1 DT. It is with the main army. He's producing more Colossi. His bank is dwindling. His harvester count is only down to 16, but the Zerg has 0 drones. Oh, he did build an extractor. How smart of him. That was very close indeed as this building went down. Now all he has to do, all Undead has to do, is go here, rush to this extractor, and kill it. Of course, he doesn't know if there are more drones out on the map somewhere. But he can, I mean, he can go for the bottom. He does have blink. He can blink stalkers here. Or just walk them up there, kill the extractor, and then just blink away. Let's see if he can actually do this. He could blink to the high ground. Colossi giving vision. Oh! There's a DT! There's a DT! There's no detection for the Zerg. Oh my goodness! There is no detection for the Zerg! Incredible as the Zerg loses this game. Just by having no Overseers. WTF I just saw! What the hell, guys? What the... What the hell? Special tactics, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh, this was a very, very weird game. Oh yeah, definitely. The Zerg and the Protoss both needed more things, but I think they were just like so absorbed in the battles and maneuvering their units that they did not really have enough brain power to spare to think about things like upgrades, expanding, detection, static defense. Yeah, G-Wixter puts it very, very funnily when he says that the Zerg needed brains, for example. Yes, I agree. But you know, don't get me wrong. It was a fun game. I'm not. I did not expect a perfect game. I mean, these are just master level players, and I don't even know if it's like low masters or top masters or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. But it was a funny game nonetheless. I mean, when is it when you're going to see 40 swarm hosts and nothing else for the Zerg? I mean, he basically just maxed out on swarm host queen. What? How often do you see that? So I think it was worth it, despite it not being the best game as far as execution or build order goes. It was still very, very funny. Whew. Okay, let me breathe for a second here. So that was the first game of the day. We are going to jump into a PvT shortly. Before we do, I would like to thank everybody for tuning in. I hope the games I select... I have not seen those games in very great detail. I just through them, read the description in the emails, for which I thank you very much, guys. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you're finding this fun. If you do, please tweet about this. I'm always very grateful if someone shares the Twitch link. You can hit that follow button if you want. You can tweet the link, hashtag castmygame, hashtag BelleNOiRtv, whatever. You can post about it on your Facebook. And if you find this fun, you can get more people interested, that more people would send their replays, so that we have more replays to choose from, and you know, have a higher probability of quality games. So without further ado, let's go into a PVT, excuse me. This will be on Cloud Kingdom. Whew, what a day. What a day. After a tough day at work, there is nothing like casting games of StarCraft. So, this is going to be a PVT on Cloud Kingdom, spawning in the top right. By the way, are the sound levels okay? Can you hear my voice over the music and in-game sounds? I would like to know, so if you can give me feedback in the chat, I would be really appreciative of that. Going into the game, spawning in the top right, it is the red Terran. From mouse control, it is Judgement. And his opponent from the Netherlands, it is going to be UCAP JayPower, recently seen in The Hague, in the World Forum, in the Team League finals of DSCL. I almost said WCS. There, so yeah, but it would be pretty cool to see JayPower in WCS finals. Maybe one day, mate. I really like your approach to the game. You know, for those who don't know, I am familiar with both of these teams, and I know JayPower in person. I have met him. He's a really swell guy. And what I like about him the most is is his philosophy of approaching the game. He believes getting the most perfect build order that you can get down to the wire is the correct approach to the game, because your mechanics are always going to be improving if you play and practice them. However, devising strong builds that are very crisp, very efficient, is a thing that takes brain power and actual thinking, which mechanics do not, or not to the same degree. So I really like his approach to the game. He always spends a great deal of time thinking about the game and perfecting his build orders. So let us see. We see Judgement opening up with a Reaper. Of course, JayPower does see this. I think he even clicked on the gas. He does know how much has been mined. He should recheck the barracks though, since his probe already got locked out. He can't really move out of the base. He's just trying to be as annoying as possible. APM hovering close to 200, so we can see both of these players are really damn good. And, well, is he going to see the Reaper? I think he is. His Cyber Core is about to finish, so he should have the Mothership Core or the Stalker out just in time to deal with this Reaper. Let's see what his gas spending is going to be. It looks like he's preferring to get the Warp Gate first and then get a Mothership Core. I wouldn't put it past him to Chrono Boost this Mothership Core just to have it out as soon as possible versus this Reaper. But so far it seems like he's pretty confident in his probe micro to keep him alive. Oh, this is really smart! Cancelling the gateway research when he realized that there is a Reaper on the way and getting a Stalker instead. That's really smart. And now that he has the 50 gas, he will probably end up getting that Warp Gate tech. He's dropping down the Nexus, and the Reaper is being chased away. So, very good defense by JayPower there. Not losing a single probe to that Reaper. Meanwhile, we see Judgement following this up with a reactor and a factory. So most probably a couple of Hellions will be produced in a moment here, and we see that there is the switch. And probably this barracks will be getting a tech lab as the next thing. We shall have to see. JayPower getting a second gas, moving into a rather quick robotic facility for that observer. Whenever the Terran opens up with a gas, you pretty much want to know what is going on. And, you know, after that probe dying, you want to know if it's a factory follow-up, you want to know if it's a reactor expand into something really weird like... You know, lately we have been seeing Ravens being incorporated into the standard bioplate just to be able to get those drops in to the Protoss base without being killed by the medevacs. 2 more gateways going down for JayPower, so he's playing this really smartly so far. The economy pretty even, considering it's soon to be 2 command centers. That means double mules as well. Hellions are being produced, and yeah, the tech lab has gone down onto the barracks, researching stim straight away. And the first Hellions are with the Marines, are just keeping map control for now. I wonder if he's going to try and go for a run-by, or if he's just going to wait for the first medevacs to join up with the Hellions. He does have the starport finished, not really producing... Oh, there's the first medevac, boosting across the map already. So probably this is going to be a 4 Hellion drop inside the main base. But you know, it comes a little bit later. The warp gate is already finished, so this shouldn't do that much damage. Unfortunately for JayPower though, he doesn't have map control. Oh my god, such a clutch observer move. He's already retreating all of his Stalkers. He has to micro the probes correctly though. Oh, they're bunching up. Nice force field there for JayPower, limiting the movement of these Stalkers. The medevac needs to survive. Oh, and it goes down, which means these Hellions are pretty much forfeit. They have to get at least some probe kills if they want to be at least marginally useful. Even photon overcharge going down, and there the harassment is defended. Let's see how many probes ended up going down. Only 4 probes. Perfect or near perfect defense by JayPower here. The Terran Judgement, he does have the natural up though. The stim is nearing completion. JayPower knows about that. He knows there is only 1 Rax, so he may decide to go for a counterattack. As soon as he kills these Hellions off, clutch force field on the ramp, not letting those Hellions up. Let's see, is there any additional attack going down for JayPower? No. No Twilight Council, no Robobay, but he is going for that counterattack because he did see that there is only 1 Rax. So that means the Terran won't have as many units. A couple of Hellions trying to work on the pros, but not really getting all that much. This position, as JayPower correctly identifies, will not be breachable anytime soon. Oh, the observer gets sniped even, so you know that limits JayPower's movement. JayPower's ability to scout how many units there are and how they're positioned, how many bunkers there are, so he's going to be a little bit more careful. He is sending units over though. He doesn't have a proxy pylon yet, and we have a warpism on the way, followed by Immortals. Is he seriously going to try and go for a Immortal drop later on in the game? That might work out for him quite nicely. Meanwhile, he's just content to sniping this one bunker. Look at this. He's pretty much forcing Judgement to pull a lot of his SCVs back. That's a lot of lost mining time. If we look at the spending tab, we see that JayPower spent a lot more resources on the army than the Terran had. Also on the economy. So while he's behind in tech a little bit, as the Terran does have stim finished and he's working on combat shields as well, he is ahead greatly in econ and army size. And oh, this is a cool move here. Judgement has no idea, just barely scouting this. What is his reaction going to be as he's dropping the main base of JayPower yet again? Do we have the mothership core anywhere for the photon overcharge? No, it is with the main army. And here we have the elevator play by JayPower, unloading the Stalkers into the main. There is not really that many units because Judgement, instead of going for multiple barracks, he went for a 3rd command center. Really greedy play. These Hellions still being active. 38 workers have gone down for JayPower, so Judgement doing a really nice job of trying to keep himself in this game. He is losing units though, he is losing SCVs, and the drop has pretty much been cleaned out. JayPower is in a 1 base economy, but Judgement, well, he still has sort of 1 base economy, doesn't really have the production though, I feel like, to stave off this attack. There is an observer, so these Widowmines will be seen. JayPower will have the ability to kill those. And you know, 2 Marauders stimming in, getting 1 Stalker immediately, but more are being warped in from the Warpism. JayPower really keeping up the pressure inside of the Terran's base. Will he be able, Judgement, I mean, will he be able to defend this? because he can't really spare units to harass JayPower at this moment. He has to spend all of his army to defend this, and JayPower warping in more and more Stalkers. He's relying on his ability to micro and snipe off all the Marauders. Beautiful time warp going down. So JayPower being really cost efficient with his units here right now. All the Marauders have been killed, and this means that 4 Stalkers are just barely going to be enough to do great damage here to Judgement. Without the Marauders, the Stalkers are not as efficient, and with more Zealot reinforcements, he is going to be able to keep the Marauders at bay. It seems, though, that he doesn't really want to continue this attack any longer. Nice Widowmine repositioning by Judgement, forcing JayPower to move his units away. Oh, another Stalker goes down. Every Stalker killed for Judgement is of great value to him right now. He's doing all of his mining back here at the natural base, which doesn't have any gas. Fortunately, he does have some stored, and he needs every single Marauder and other unit he can spare. I wouldn't mind him pulling some of the SCVs from the natural to try and defend the pressure that JayPower is putting on him right now. The supplies are still really close. Good tactical choices by both players here. Judgement getting back into Hellion production to take care of those Zealots so that his Marauders are that much more effective versus the Stalkers, but JayPower just focus firing really well here. Even getting ahead with the harvester counts. Where is the warpism? I don't see it anywhere. Okay, here it is. So if JayPower wants, he can warp in more units. 2 more Stalkers getting warped in. He's really keeping this up. Basically, what he's doing, he's preventing the Terran to get a big enough army at this time to pose a threat to him. And this is ridiculous. He still has 7 and 3 more Stalkers, 1 Zealot being warped in. He still has quite a large amount of units alive inside the Terran base. He's not really teching behind this. We don't see any Robo base going down, but he is kernel boosting probes like a madman. He wants to get ahead as much as possible. The Stalkers not in the best position right now. If they get surrounded from both sides by the SCVs, this could be really dangerous for a JayPower. This barracks, though, is getting into the way somewhat, but the SCVs are working gradually on the Stalkers. The warpism has been taken down, so at least for the time being, after almost 7 minutes of constant pressure, this is going to be finally defended. JayPower, wow, just wow. So this is going to be defended in just a moment here, allowing Judgement to resume mining at his main base, but look at this, 10 SCVs only versus 51 probes. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, JayPower? Wow, what a game. Taking a third like a boss, getting double upgrades. Oh my goodness. That pressure by JayPower was just relentless. mCon misreading, or should I say underestimating the situation a little bit, going for a greedy third CC after that failed Hellion drop. Now what he needs right now is scouting. He needs scouting like bread needs salt. He does see this army, though, doesn't know about the third base yet. I wonder if he's going to check. First Colossus in production, and as soon as that pops out, it's going to be really difficult for Judgement to engage that Protoss army. He has to try, though. He's hopelessly behind at this point. And he's going for it. He's going for it. 21 SCVs, so he's been doing a good job of remaking that SCV count. Not really skipping very many of them, but JayPower so far ahead. 3 bases, 1-1 being close to being down. How many gates do we have? 6 gates for JayPower. I think he can hold off this attack with just pure gateway reinforcements. Oh my goodness, the force fields! The force fields! And Judgement says grats and leaves the game. Wow. Just wow. Oh my goodness. Such a good game Such a good game. More of these, guys. More of these. If you have friends that have very tight games, you know, it doesn't have to be a high level of play, but if it's a tight game, if it's or just a very good game, or a game you're proud of, open up your email client, type in BelleNOiR@cesnam.cz, put the title, Cast My Game, send me that replay, write down a short description. If it's a master versus master, between 10 and 30 minutes, exceptions being made in rare cases where the games are exceptionally good, I might end up casting a 60-minute game at one point in time, I'm sure. Send it to me, I'll take a look at it very briefly, and you know, if it's one of the better games that are currently being sent out to me, I'll select it for the cast, I'll cast it for you guys live, put up the VODs on my YouTube the day when I finish casting, and hopefully you will enjoy the casts and have some fun. So, once again, thank you for tuning in. My name is BelleNOiR. If you are here for the first time, the show is called Cast My Game, where I cast your replays live. If you would like to check out my social channels, you can do so. I have a Facebook, I have a Twitter, and I have a YouTube channel as well. Everything is just BelleNOiRtv after the /. So let me catch up with the chat before we go into the final game of today. What the people are saying, how did you like that game? G-Wixter saying, I seriously hope that was not a master level play. I'm gonna disappoint you, it was. But I mean, if you're referring to the first game, that was master versus master as well, but I think it was from the North American server. I'm not entirely sure. This second one was pretty much top master versus top master. JayPower was JayPower, as far as I know, was Grandmasters in last season. So he's a very good player. If you have a better game, send it to me. Or if you think your game is good, send it to me. I look at all the games, which takes quite a ton of my time. But hey, what wouldn't I do for the sake of casting and for the sake of having fun, right? Right? Am I right? So, let's go into the final game. It is going to be Zasz versus MaDFroG on BelleNOiR Vestige, and this is going to be another PvZ. I don't actually know if SpeedyBozar is Czech or not. I don't recognize the nick, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. He is? He's Czech? Oh really? And he masses swarm hosts. Wow. Awesome. Alright, going into this game, on BelleNOiR Vestige, we do have We Wanna Win Clan Zasz, the red Protoss, spawning in the bottom right. His opponent is going to be MaDFroG, the blue Zerg, in the top left. Now, this nickname, MaDFroG, is somewhat familiar to me. I'm sure I have heard that nickname somewhere before, but I can't recall. I can't recall where it was. Goodbye, Examark. Goodbye. Oh, that's right. Warcraft 3 player. That's true. That's true. So that's where I may have heard that game, that name. Alright, so Zasz, he, by the looks of it, he's going to be opening up with a pretty standard Forge Fast Expand. Looks like MaDFroG just wants to go for the standard build. Just 14 pull, a little bit earlier pull. Usually, you know, in the recent days, you see the pool going down at 15 more often than not. Zergs trying to be really greedy versus Protoss. And sending 2 drones down. He really wants to get that hatch. So Zasz is going to try to do his best to delay that. Now let's see if Zasz is going to be... Oh, he is going to be getting the Nexus first instead of the Forge. This is a pretty ballsy move, but you know, it's quite safe versus versus pool first openings. And MaDFroG is at... What the... What is this? MaDFroG, you bastard. You're trying to mind game your opponent. You're trying to trick him. You don't get the hatch down and you go for a drone rush? 6 Zerglings in production. He did see that there is no forge, so that may have triggered his decision there. Zasz immediately cancelling his no. He knows his forge is not up, doing the wall off the pylon block at the top. Now this is still breakable. This is still breakable. What a game we're having here right now, guys. A drone rush trying to punish the Nexus first build of Zasz. 6 lings making their way across the map. I wonder why he's pulling back the drones. I mean, he could have started nibbling away at these pylons. There would have been nothing that could have attacked those drones. So he could have killed 1 pylon, or if not, he could have killed the shields on all 3 pylons, and then it would be really easy with the lings to break through. But he decided not to do that. He's retreating his drones all the way across the map to continue mining. What the hell? And now these 6 lings, they're trying to work on the pylons, but I think Zasz is going to be narrowly fine here. He has quite a lot of minerals, so there's no problem for him getting additional buildings down on these sides to still have a complete wall off. Look at this. Walling off just in time, chrono boosting out the Zealot, getting double gas. Zasz is doing a very good job here. He has to be careful though not to get supply blocked. He will need an additional Zealot very, very soon. 2 additional pylons going down. More Zerglings being produced by MaDFroG, rallying them to the gateways. Will Zasz be able to defend? The Zealot is on the inside part of the base. Is there actually a gap between these pylons? I didn't... Oh, there is! The pylon does not get constructed in time. Zasz has to pull his Zealot back. MaDFroG very unwisely engages the Zealot instead of just going for the probe line. But he does manage to kill the Zealot. Now, can he unpower these gateways? Zasz thinking of defending those pylons with the probes. Okay, there's another pylon at the top, so those Zealots will definitely end up hopping out of these gates. Cybernetic Core also almost being down. Zasz doing the best he can with the positioning of his units. The Cyber Core is getting attacked, but the Mothership Core is already on its way. More Zerglings streaming in though, and right now, it is only right now that MaDFroG is going back into probe production. Now, how many probes can MaDFroG kill? He's quite down on the harvest count here, so he has to pretty much kill some probes. He is getting a secondary hatchery though, so that's going to be good. If he can get that one up, he will have double the larva he has right now, but the Zerglings are being taken out here. The Mothership Core is really a useful tool in early defense, and Zasz only losing 3 probes total. Perfect defense from the Protoss player, considering what happened. I have to say, I'm really impressed with Zasz's ability to improvise and to react to unforeseen circumstances and unexpected situations. He even managed to sneak this original scouting probe here. So he may end up going for... Oh, okay. So he may end up going for a 4-gate attack. Warp Gate is almost done. He was dumping all the chrono boosts into it pretty much. These 2 gateways are going to be lagging behind somewhat. And oh, that's a full wall off. That's a full wall off. He's going for an all-in here, or you know, for a kill move. Or at least he's going to try to. 2 spine crawlers going down by MaDFroG. He really senses that something's up. He knows something is up. If Zasz actually... Oh, that would be such a boon for him right now if he could catch those 2 Overlords just out in the open with the Stalkers. Would probably end up supplying the Zerg, supply capping the Zerg. But there are 3 Queens, not that very many Lings, but more Spine Crawlers are in production. Zasz needs a Zealot Warp in right now. Stalkers are not going to be able to cut this. Let's see if those gateways are turned on already. Yes, they are. So he's warping 2 Zods and 2 Stalkers, a good choice. And he has to tank with the Zods and focus fire the Spine Crawlers down with the Stalkers. No more transfusions will be available, or very little, for the Zerg player, but he's doing a great job of transfusing those spines. But I think Zasz may have enough, just barely, to push through. The Roach Warren is finished though, and first Roaches are entering the field. The Mothership Core gets taken out by MaDFroG, so he's holding on for now, still staying only on 18 drones. With a little bit of micro, Zasz might be able to push through. Another Queen. Oh, it gets transfused just in the nick of time, and the Roach count is beginning to climb here. This is almost like watching old Wings of Liberty 4-gate versus 4-gate defense with Roaches, Lings, and Spines. Do we have speed finish for the Zerglings? No, we do not. And Zasz, if he chrono boosts the gateways, he could actually pump another line of Zods really quickly. If he can get rid of these Spine Crawlers, he can kite these Roaches off creep. But MaDFroG, look how on top of his ball he is, always staying on the creep. He knows that if he goes off the creep, he's pretty much dead. Sentries being warped in, that's a pretty good idea. He has to segment this army, but oh no, he doesn't get the third force field down quite in time. That's 100 energy wasted. Only 1 force field remaining for this army. So, you know, Zasz not really doing the best job of capitalizing on the opportunity that is presenting itself to him. But he's still being very cost efficient, killing as many units as possible. And looks like he's thinking of... yeah, he's definitely thinking of expanding. There we go. So he's keeping up the pressure, preventing the Zerg from droning, because MaDFroG really needs to devote very many of his larvae to unit production. Only a couple of drones being squeezed out here or there. And with the second Spine Crawler, I mean, as long as MaDFroG can keep that Spine Crawler defense up, he will be able to defend with Roaches and Lings and Queens. But he won't be able to take a third base. Not as long as this pressure is up. Not as long as his army is not able to beat the Protoss army out in the open. Zasz, very wisely, seeing that the Roach count is climbing too high for his own comfort, he's pulling back. He's getting a robo facility for scouting purposes, because you will need every ounce of gas for sentries and force fields to stay alive. He even has enough minerals for another expansion, but I think going for it at this point in time might be a little bit too risky. So let's see what will end up popping out of that. Will it be an Immortal, which wouldn't be a bad choice, or will it be an Observer? Meanwhile, we see the Hallucinated Scout. Okay, so Zasz knows about the lair timing. He knows Mutalisks or Hydras or any kind of lair tech is a possibility here. He will need to confirm what kind of tech building goes down. The lair has about 40 seconds to being finished, and the lair tech building should be going down immediately after that. So the game is stabilizing a little bit. MaDFroG really needs to take a third base though. He doesn't really have the econ to do so, so he's got 2 options right now. He can tech aggressively, saturate 2 bases very quickly and go for an attack, or he can take a third base and invest 2 or 3 rounds of larva into drones and go for a later attack. He can still try to overpower the Protoss with economy. But you know, both of these decisions have their risks. If you attack and the Protoss will defend, which is not really a, you know, big deal for the Protoss, then you will end up being so much behind that you would be forced into an all-in. If you don't attack and try to power econ and the Protoss decides to attack, you're pretty much screwed because you don't have the tech to defend. So let's see what ends up happening. 2 Evo chambers going down. I saw a Spire here, I think, before. But it ended up being cancelled. I don't really know what the reason for that is, but MaDFroG is switching into Hydras. Zasz is getting double Stargate. He's really afraid of a Mutalisk transition off of this. He hasn't oh, so that's why he did see the Spire. So he's getting double Stargate. So mind games going on, ladies and gentlemen. MaDFroG continuously trying to outsmart Zasz here. He showed him the Spire, he saw the Phoenix flying over it, and he says, you know what? You think I'm going MTOS? Well, you probably will throw down double Stargate to compensate. So I'm gonna cancel the Spire, going to get Hydras, which are pretty good against Phoenix. So let us see here. First Hydras being produced, the Protoss getting a third base. But this observer sees the Hydralisk Den. Let's see what Zasz's reaction is going to be. Will he end up canceling those Phoenix and getting a Colossus straight up? One cancel. Second cancel not being fast enough. But he's getting a Colossus straight up. Very good call there from Zasz. Meanwhile, MaDFroG just getting a third base. Getting his +1/+1 upgrades for the Roachling Hydra composition he apparently is going to be going for. He will need Corruptors though at some point in time. So that cancelled Spire might actually end up hurting him. What is hurting him even more though right now is that he's down on Econ greatly. Only 47 drones, that's not a good sign. Does he know about that third base? No, he doesn't. So he's trying to stage an attack here. He's counting on the fact, sort of, that Zasz went for Stargate tech. And I think he did show him the Phoenix at some point. Oh, nice force fields there. Not the best position on the top flank, though, as the Roaches are taking out the Mothership Core and the Stalkers. The Colossus needs to be pulled back. Because that is a very important unit here right now for Zasz. Even Queen's joining on the fight, but there's not that many Roaches remaining. This Immortal doing work here. Transfuse is going down all over the place. Immortal up to 7 kills, and this Roach Force will be killed. And MaDFroG, he's just continuing to produce Roaches. It is not going to be enough. He says, "Fuck my life!" and gets out of the game. Wow. Just wow. What a ridiculous game. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was really interesting trying to punish Forge Fast Expand with Nexus first, with a drone rush. And, you know, Zasz, he only caught a glimpse of those. I mean, he wanted to go back to scout for the third, and he took the top route. Imagine him going the bottom route, going around. He would not have seen those drones being pulled, and that game would have been entirely different. So it was a very smart move, a great deal of mind gaming there on the Zerg side, but ultimately Zasz just had more luck in this game and was the smarter player. I'm not saying you know, a better player, although he did play exceptionally well. But he was the smarter player. Alright, so that was the third game. And this will be it for today, guys. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you would like to send me your replays, you can do so by sending me an email titled Cast My Game. And attach the replay file to it. Please include a short description and tell me which of the players, tell me your player name in the replay, because otherwise I can't tell, really. So, conditions, it has to be a Masters versus Masters, anywhere between 10 to 30 minutes long. It can be any type of game, I don't care, just send me a game you would like me to cast. And, you know, before every show I do make a selection based on the email descriptions. I'm trying to not watch the replays, but if you don't include a description, I will pretty much have to watch the replays, which I don't like to do because it, you know, even if you blast through a replay on ×8 speed, it kind of spoils it for you a little bit. And I have a pretty good memory, so, you know. In other news, yeah, you can also bump this thread. If you liked today's broadcast, if you're a first-timer, I would appreciate it very much if you would comment on the quality of the cast, if you would give me feedback, or if you would just, you know, say, hey, this guy is pretty good. I had a lot of fun on his stream. You know, that's the greatest support at this time that you can show me. Of course, if you like me too much and you want to be cool, you can follow me on Twitter or Facebook or subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way you can watch Cast My Games even if I'm not live. You can watch all the previous episodes and you can watch VODs if you miss the cast. The show will be on for the majority of the week unless I have a different casting gig or I'm busy at work or personal life. I don't have a personal life. Wait. Okay, so unless I'm busy with casting or at work, I'm gonna be doing Cast My Game every day, 8 p.m. Central European Standard Time. Also, we are running tournaments once a month. Those are open tournaments. The only condition is you have to be a follower of either the stream or my Twitter, and you can sign up. It's for $100, 16-player bracket. You can search for it on Liquipedia if you want. There is an entry about that. Davithor is asking when the next tournament is going to be. I applied for DreamHack Open, DreamHack Summer Open as a community caster, and they told me that they will select the community casters by the end of this week. So until I know, I can't really tell you. I wanted to do it the next week, but probably will be doing it more towards the end of this month, just because we have the closing month in work. So I have to work extra, and CEST is Central European Summertime. So I have to work extra days. So probably around. Let me check the scheduling. Probably around 22. It's okay. It's either going to be 22nd of June or 29th of June, one of those. So if you want to participate, you can. Gonna be signing off. I have been flapping my gums at you for longer than you would actually bear, I am sure. And if you want to check out some Czech casting, you can head on to twitch.tv/TV Spectre. They're casting the Avermedia League from the Czech Republic right now with top Czech players, some pretty good games to be had, so go check that out. No English cast, I apologize, they're casting in Czech, but the games are still pretty good. So, gonna be signing off. Thank you for tuning in, guys. See you tomorrow, and until then, remember, storm first, ask questions later.